Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another video as of today. Today is going to be another one of the off-season rebuilds. This is going to be just something that I personally think, obviously, you know, it's kind of up in the air who's going to go. I mean, we know Cade Cunningham is pretty much hands down going to be number one. After that, we really don't know what is going to happen when it comes to the rest of the draft. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be giving kind of like a little mock draft for the first five, and kind of rebuild where I think Evan Mobley will go. So let's go ahead and hop straight into it. I should have everybody selected, but I'm truly not sure. So I'm going to double check that and I'll be right back. Alright, so I should have everyone selected, so I think that we should be okay now. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, yeah, so we do. So, realistically, I do think Cade Cunningham is going to go number one overall. I would be very shocked if he went anything lower than number one. Maybe two, because I do see a lot of potential in Jalen Green. And him and Killian Hayes would probably play very well together, but I think him and Cade could play well together too. So I truly think that Cade is probably going to go number one, and it's pretty clear cut. So he's going to be our number one overall selection. So with the number two overall pick, you guys know my personal opinion. If you guys have been fans of the channel, personally, I think that Jalen Green is going to go number two. I could see him or maybe even Suggs. I could see one of those two going at number two. I just genuinely don't think it's Evan Mobley. I think Evan Mobley is probably the third best player in this draft. But realistically, I just don't think him and Christian Wood are going to be a good fit next to each other in multiple different aspects. I mean, he's not really, at least according to 2K. I know it's a little bit different than real life, but he's not the best three-point shooter. And Christian Wood isn't necessarily a tremendous three-point shooter either. So why would you want two inside scoring bigs right next to each other? It would just kind of clog the lane. We've kind of seen it before with prime Blake Griffin. He never really shot threes, and DeAndre Jordan has never shot threes. So between the two, it just makes it really tough to be able to put them side by side. So with the number two overall pick, we're going with Jalen Green. So at pick number 3, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is another extremely interesting one just because of the mere fact that they're in an interesting spot. They drafted Isaac Okoro last year, and he was supposed to kind of be the 3-and-D guy for the future, which we still don't know his full potential, but he wasn't necessarily great last year. They also have Colin Sexton, who's a rising star. I think that he has a very good spot in this league, especially with the right team, with the right pieces around him. I truly think he can be a transcendent player. Same with Darius Garland. I think Darius Garland is going to be a amazing role player. I don't know if he'll ever be a superstar in the league, but I do think he'd be a pretty solid role player. But with that being said, they did just trade for Jared Allen, who's a super young center, and I believe he's going to be the center of the future. And with Evan Mobley not really being the best shooter once again, and with Jared Allen, who I don't know if he's ever attempted a three in his entire life, I just don't think that they would be a very good fit next to each other either. I do think bringing in a guy like Jalen Suggs or even Jonathan Kuminga, which Jonathan Kuminga is interesting because if you put Isaac Okoro at the 4 and then brought in Jonathan Kuminga, I could see a lot of potential in that. I would definitely be supporting that 100%. But for right now, I think if I was the Cleveland Cavaliers, I would try to do I would probably draft with Jalen Suggs, maybe move Colin Sexton or Darius Garland for another piece, maybe like a potential power forward due to Kevin Love being a little bit older. So number 3 pick, we're going Jalen Suggs. All right, I didn't realize my camera was so high, so you could literally only see my head, so I apologize about that. But pick number 4, we have the Toronto Raptors, and I don't think that there would be a better pick in this entire thing than getting Evan Mobley at the center position. That is pretty much the only position that the Raptors at this point in time, that's the only position that they truly need. So I'm going to honestly sim to the end. I don't necessarily care about the rest because we are going to be using the Toronto Raptors as of today. So he went at the 4th overall pick, and so we're going to select them. and this is kind of what we're working with for now. Obviously, we're going to sign Evan Mobley, and I didn't even draft him, but Ayo Dosunmu, he falls to us as well. If you guys know, I'm a huge Illinois fan, so love to see Ayo Dosunmu. I'm actually from Illinois, so between the two, really great picks. We still have Chris Boucher on a team option. We have Yuta Watanabe, who I think is probably going to stay for now. I don't know. I don't think I want to keep any of these other guys. Not really ones that are super interesting to me. Qualifying offer for Gary Trent Jr. 100%. And then this is where things get a little bit interesting. So we obviously have Kyle Lowry, who is, he is like an unrestricted free agent. So it's just interesting because I don't know what they're going to do in real life. I don't know if they're going to keep him. I don't know if they're going to let him walk. I truly don't know. So if for whatever reason we didn't sign Kyle Lowry, we'd be saving about $45 million, which is cool. But if we let him walk, then we wouldn't have a point guard. Other than maybe we could move Fred VanVleet to the point guard position. We could do Malachi Flynn. Oh, we could actually start Malachi Flynn. I do think Malachi Flynn will be pretty decent in the league, but I don't know. So I think, and we're going to keep Gary Trent Jr., so he's going to be here as well. So I think for now, I think that we're going to... I don't know. Honestly, let's bring him back. Let's bring him back for a 3-year deal. That's fine. Perfectly fine with me. And he does end up agreeing to that. So we're just going to... Gary Trent is looking to... I forgot to do the... Oh, man. I forgot to do the 2K thing where you can sign someone for a max contract and then he comes back on the qualifying. Oh, I just absolutely sold the bag so hard. Okay, so we have absolutely no money anymore. We would have had money if I wouldn't have messed that up. So, we're just going to sim through to player progression. I really can't believe I just did that. Fred VanVleet does go down a little bit, which is kind of, I wasn't really expecting it. But at the end of the day, it's okay. OG is still doing really well. Siakam stays the same. Gary Trent actually goes up 3 to an 81, and I think I'm going to switch him to our small forward position because I would rather run him at small forward. Unless if I decided to go Fred VanVleet at point guard, I could do that as well. But either way, I'm not 100% sure on that. Chris Boucher stayed the same, which shocks me, and then Kyle Lowry goes down 3, so we are going to do a sign and trade with Kyle Lowry, kind of get our team a little bit younger, and we're going to just kind of go from there. So let's go to the training camps, and honestly, I'm just going to see you guys whenever I find a trade. So I think this is the next move that we're going to do. Obviously, we want to get a little bit younger away from Kyle Lowry, so we're getting about 9 years younger with going with a guy like Devontae Graham, who he honestly has been putting up pretty good numbers. So I think he could probably be our starting point guard as of right now. And I think that this would be it's not super realistic. I don't think the Hornets would do something like that. But I definitely think that the style of the move, like the Raptors getting a little bit younger at the point guard position, I definitely think that that's something that could happen, in real life. So this is going to be the rotation for now. We have Devontae Graham, Fred VanVleet, OG, Pascal, and Evan Mobley. I would love to start Gary Trent Jr. I just don't know where. So maybe we could do something like this instead. Have Devontae Graham come off the bench with Chris Boucher, Malachi Flynn, and Yuta Watanabe, which isn't a terrible idea. Danny Green's back. That he got auto-signed here, but that's funny that he's back. We could... I think I'm going to move Devontae Graham to a shooting guard, and the only reason for that is so that way we would have a backup 2 off the bench as well. It's kind of a necessary type of thing as well. So I don't want to start Malachi Flynn, I don't think. I think I would rather go like this. And then, yeah, this could work. This could work for sure. So I think this is pretty much what we're going to run with. I don't think we'll make any moves, in all honesty. If we take a look at the front office and we take a look at the salary cap breakdown for this next year, I mean, we literally have everyone locked up. Like, I mean, other than Chris Boucher, who we will have to probably sign, and Yuta Watanabe, maybe. So maybe I could try to do, because there's no options or anything on Chris Boucher, and I would like to re-sign him. So maybe we could make a trade for one of these top guys and make a move. I'm going to take a look and see what I could get for Pascal Siakam super quick. I know that he's a stud, but in 2K, he just does not progress at all, which is very unfortunate. But we could make an immediate upgrade at power forward for Tobias Harris. We could do Vucevic, Kevin Love. I did not think I'd be getting this many great offers. So maybe I'll just hold on to him, because obviously in real life I don't think that the Raptors are going to trade him. I just don't foresee it happening. But this is really enticing, especially because we wouldn't have to re-sign Yuta. But it is taking away from one of our bench pieces. No, I won't do it. I'll just honestly, I think that we're going to be pretty decent this year. I'm just going to sim till the end of the year, and I'll see you guys there. All right, so the season has wrapped. We ended up as a 5 seed, 10th in the power ranking. So we did actually end up making playoffs, which is actually kind of shocking to me at least. Jokic wins MVP. Rookie of the Year goes to Cade Cunningham. No shock there. Sixth Man of the Year goes to John Wall. In OKC, I wonder what they did to pull off that trade. And he's backing up Shea. And wow, that's just insane to me. Jonathan Isaac wins Defensive Player of the Year. Luke Kennard wins Most Improved. Brad Stevens wins Coach of the Year with 65 wins. So shout out to him. I'm sure he's still probably the Celtics coach as of right now. Justin Taylor wins Executive of the Year. So let's see if we got anyone. I doubt it, but hey, you never really know. So defensive teams, nothing, and I'm assuming Mobley. Okay, so we do have Mobley on All Rookie First Team. Perfectly fine with me. We are going up against the Atlanta Hawks round 1, but before we do that, I want to take a look at the stats. So Siakam's kind of the guy. He's mostly the guy. Evan Mobley actually had a really good year, though. So him and Siakam might be a really good duo. Devontae Graham off the bench scored 17. Whoa. Hold on. Is that right? Minutes per game. 25 and 30. So Devontae Graham off the bench was better than Gary Trent, who was starting. Yeah, we'll have to make a change. We'll have to start them. And Malachi Flynn off the bench was cooking 15 points. Off the bench, shooting almost 50, 40, 90. So I guess we just have to redo the rotation and we'll be just fine. Even Chris Boucher did really well. Obviously, Yuta, he only got 15 minutes a night. So his per 36 is looking pretty decent. 9 and 8. You can't argue with that. So we were actually a lot more solid than I thought we would be. So I guess let's just redo the rotation here. I'm fine with Malachi Flynn starting, honestly. I do like the idea of Devontae Graham still coming off the bench. I might have to just double check to make sure that Devontae Graham's backup position is... Okay, so he doesn't have one. So I'm going to put his backup position as point guard, just so that way he can actually get some of those backup point guard minutes as well. We actually built a pretty solid squad here. I mean, I didn't really do anything, but so we're going up against Atlanta once again. I'm sure they have the exact same team. Yeah, to a T. Yep, didn't make a single trade. Oh, they got Kendrick Nunn though, which is interesting. Did they trade for him? No, they must have just signed him. So that's pretty cool. They drafted Franz Wagner, which is a really good pick because I'm sure it was probably a lot later. So let's take a look at the box score real quick. So Trae Young still did his thing. So it looks like right now we're still just needing a little bit more offense. But we actually end up winning game 2. Malachi Flynn and Siakam just went crazy. So we love to see that, of course. They take game 3. They take game 4. And we take game 5. We take game 6. Oh my goodness. Can we win in a game 7? It doesn't look like it. Looks like, oh. Yeah, no, we lost. That's unfortunate. We ended up losing by 4 in 7 games in the first round. But the Hawks went on to win it all. So we brought the champions all the way to 7. So you really can't argue with that. Trae Young is your finals MVP. No shock there. So let's go to the league meetings, make sure that all of this stuff is rejected. I don't want to change anything about the league right now. I don't think we'll have a very good... How do the Hawks have a chance at number 1? That does not make sense. So, Raptors, we have the 22nd pick. Not really good at all. I was hoping for something just a little bit better. But, it's okay. So, we will go ahead and sign Owen Masters here. And then for trainers, we will go for Sean Navarro. Just so that way we can have 3 untapped potentials. And they both sign. So now we'll go to the NBA draft. Like I said, I don't know. What could we, is anybody wanting this first pick? Like, if we put pick 22 and, so these are all of our players that are under contract right now. Honestly, so I love Mobley. Obviously he's going to be here to stay. I think Siakam put up really good numbers. Fred did drop a little bit. He dropped all the way down to 14 points a game. 17 for Mobley. 12 for Gary Trent. And then Devontae Graham had a really solid year. Let's see what we can get for Gary Trent real quick. Kyle Lowry. That's funny. We could get a young Josh Christopher, but, and he would be a shooting guard, so he would literally just take the spot of Gary Trent, and he put up really solid numbers in New York. Put up 16 points a night, so we would actually be getting more points per game from him. We'd also be getting a point guard here in Howell Neto. He could be like a backup point guard, of course. That's interesting. That one's definitely interesting. I might have to consider that one for sure. Or we could get DeJounte Murray. That would be a very win now move. Or we could get pick 3 in the draft. Let's take a look at DeJounte Murray's numbers. So 15, 6, and 6. So very solid numbers. So we would be dumping a little bit of a salary too, by about $2 million per year. We'd be getting a better point guard. We could move Fred back to the 2. Yeah, let's do it. It wasn't really one that I was, I wasn't 100% sure about that one, but I think we probably made the right decision. We could have done that one, or we could have done, the Josh Christopher one, but I think I made the right decision. I truly do. So I guess let's just go to free agency. We should have to re-sign just Chris Boucher. I don't think that Yuta, I don't think he's really what I'm going to be looking towards. I don't think I really want to get him back. I'm perfectly fine if we don't get him back. We didn't have any qualifying offers, and we're not going to have enough money. We're only going to have about $9 million, so we're not going to have enough money to really sign anyone. Could get Robert Covington. That's interesting. What about if we did... Actually, is Patrick Beverley here? Okay. So, I know this is cheesy. I know this is not necessarily ideal, but I'm going to try to get Patrick Beverley here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to flip his position to small forward. He somehow goes up to an 81, which makes absolutely no sense. We're going to throw him in the trade finder and hopefully be able to get something pretty decent for him. I don't know if we'll be able to, but I really could care less. Cody Zeller is honestly kind of interesting. It'll help with the rebounds department for sure. We could get a young Isaiah Joe. It would be a much cheaper salary. We could get Chetty Osman. There's Hal Neto again. Could get Kelly O. Kelly O probably put up pretty decent numbers. Oh, he's on the Lakers. I wonder if the Lakers had made any moves then at that point. I'm not really seeing anything that I'm really liking. We could pick up these 2 first-round picks. Could get Daniel Seiss. Could get Corey Kispert. I don't know. Let me take a look at the roster just really quick. See kind of what we have. So I think DeJounte Murray will probably be our starting 1. Then we'll have Fred VanVleet as the 2. We'll have OG as the 3. Siakam as the 4. Mobley as the 5. We'll have backup shooting guard, backup point guard, backup power forward. So we really need a backup small forward or a backup center. So I do think Cody Zeller would be nice. I want to take a look and see if there's any small forwards real quick. Or we could do this package. We would get Cedi Osman, who's 27, so he's a little bit older, but he's still got room, and Udoka Azubuike, who does turn into a monster in this game. But I think I'm going to go Cody Zeller. I think that's going to be probably a very big win now move. I just think that that's probably going to be our best option here. So we're going to go to player progression, and I hope that we just keep getting better and better. So OG is now our highest overall player. We have OG, Pascal, Fred VanVleet, DeJounte Murray, Evan Mobley, Malachi Flynn, Devontae Graham, Chris Boucher, and Cody Zeller, which I don't think we've done anything too crazy to the team yet. Like, I don't think any of these moves are like ones that are, totally out of left field, but besides for the Patrick Beverley one, that one was a little bit much. But I still think that it was a really good move. I think it made us just, that much better. So I'm going to set the rotation. I'll see you guys then. Okay, so we are back here. DeJounte Murray is going to be our starting point guard. I was really debating between him and Malachi Flynn, because Malachi Flynn actually hooped out last year, but I just think that this is probably the rotation that we want to go with. We have Fred here still, who, all these guys are, the thing is they're all putting up pretty decent numbers. So obviously DeJounte Murray is more of a well-rounded wing or well-rounded point as opposed to like a pure bucket. Fred VanVleet, for the most part, is usually a good scorer. At least from the playoffs a couple years ago, he was. And then we have OG, who's a 3-and-D type of guy. We have Siakam, who's an absolute bucket. And then we have Evan Mobley, who is kind of a do-it-all kind of center. Then we have Devontae Graham, pure bucket. Chris Boucher, who's been a little bit of everything for the Raptors. Malachi Flynn, who's another bucket getter, but he can distribute a little bit. And then we have Cody Zeller, who honestly is just a rebounding big. But it'll help whenever Evan Mobley's not in, So I think that this team's in a really good spot. It looks like we're number 2 in the power ranking, so I'm just going to send them till the end of the year, and I'll see you guys then. All right, so we're not nearly as good as I thought we were going to be, but the thing is at the beginning of the year we were actually 1-7. We started off the year 1-7. Luckily, we turned it around. It looks like it might have just taken them some time to, figure out how each other played, stuff like that. So Luka does win MVP. Rookie of the Year goes to a guy named RJ Holland. Devontae Graham, our man, wins 6th Man of the Year, averaging 17 and 6. So on really efficient shooting as well. So, you can't argue with that. Jonathan Isaac, once again, Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved goes to Xavier Tillman. Stan Van Gundy wins Coach of the Year. And Justin Taylor wins Executive of the Year. So, do we have anyone on any All-NBA teams? I doubt it, but hey, we might as well look. Raptors, nothing. James Harden on the Bulls. That is a very interesting scenario. I don't think that would ever happen. But DeJounte Murray is on all defensive second team, so that's always good to see. We didn't have anyone on any rookie teams. We traded away our picks. So now we are going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So they have Darius Garland, Troy Brown Jr., Isaac Okoro, Julius Randle, Jared Allen. Oh my Lord. What is this team doing? Wait, hold on. Why is Troy Brown Jr. starting, first of all? How did they get Julius Randle? Did they sign him? They must have signed him. They got Aaron Gordon from a sign, and they must have drafted Jalen Suggs, and they're not starting him? And they traded away Colin Sexton. They traded away Kevin Love. Or they might have just let Kevin Love walk. I really don't remember Kevin Love's contract, to be completely honest. So, wow, that is interesting. So, I could definitely see us losing. We take game 1, we take game 2, we take game 3, and they take game 4, and we take game 5. I definitely thought we were going to lose that one. Let's take a look at the stats real quick. All of our scoring went down like a lot, but it's pretty well rounded, but all of our scoring went down. So I don't know. Siakam went from a 20-point per game scorer down to 17, but at the end of the day, as long as we win games, I can't really say I care too much. Russell Westbrook does end up signing with the Heat. I'm sure it's on a minimum. It might be a mid-level exception. Tyler Hero's still here. Jimmy Butler's still here. Precious, they played him at power forward, so you know he's about to be an absolute stud here in a couple of years. And their bench isn't really deep, though, so I think that we should be okay. We end up winning in 5, so, can't argue with that. We're going up against Philly now, who picked up Marcus Smart. Yeah, that's a squad. They have Zach Collins off their bench. I don't know how much he's going to help. But, man, adding in Marcus Smart for even more defense. Look at this defensive 1 through 3. Ben Simmons, who's an all-defensive first team almost every year. Matisse Thybulle, who is arguably one of the best wing defenders in the game. And same with Marcus Smart. That is absolutely insane. I would not be shocked if we lost. We would lose game 1. We win game 2. We win game 3. We win game 4. And we win game 5? How are they the 8th seed? What? I don't even know what happened there. But we're taking on the Pelicans, who have only lost 2 games in the entire playoffs so far. We've lost 3, so it's gonna probably be a close one. And 2K loves the Pelicans. They're playing Lonzo Ball at the 2, which is interesting to me. What kind of numbers is he putting up though at the 2? Not very good. I thought he'd be shooting a lot more at the 2, but oh well. We lose game 1. We take game 2. We take game 3. We take game 4, and we take game 5. So we do actually win in 5. Devontae Graham averaged 28 points in the finals and wins Finals MVP? Have I been sleeping on Devontae Graham? He just literally won it for us. Like, what? That's crazy. I was not expecting that. I figured he would be a really solid 6th man. I was not expecting numbers like this. He might have to be our starter next year, have DeJounte Murray come off the bench. I really don't know. Technically, we already completed the challenge. We completed the rebuild, but I'm going to do one more season. So I will honestly see you guys at the at the off season. I don't know what happened. So I honestly didn't really make. We only had the 30th overall pick since we did end up winning this year, winning it all. So I didn't even take anyone with the draft. I just traded for 2 second-round draft picks. I didn't really care. But it says here that Fred VanVleet declined his player option. Please allow me to understand something. If you just won a championship as one of the starters on a championship roster, averaging 15 and 6 with over a steal and a, or right at a steal and a half per game, shooting almost 50-40-90. He shot the 41 or almost 42% from 3, shot almost 95% from the free throw line, shot about 46% from the field, and he declines his player option. That is extremely interesting to me. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do. I don't think I'm going to offer Io a qualifying offer as much as I love the guy. I don't think I'm going to offer him one just because we don't really need him. So, I'm going to offer Fred a contract. I'm going to give him a little bit more than what would probably be expected. He does end up agreeing to that, so I guess he just wanted to get paid. I respect it, but yeah, he just wanted to get paid. So we won't really have any money for anyone too crazy. We could bring back Cody Zeller. He might have made a pretty decent impact on the team. So hopefully he does end up signing. Not like he really did a whole lot, but a little bit's better than none. So we'll go ahead and go to player progression. We should still see a lot of green, and we do. Evan Mobley's up to an 86 now, technically an 87 up in the top right. Fred's up to an 86. DeJounte Murray is up to an 85. Malachi Flynn up to an 81. Devontae Graham up to an 81. Chris Boucher, 81. Cody Zeller, an 80. So, we are nothing but green this year. So, we're going to go to the training camp, send them all to Untapped Potential. I'm going to set the rotation, and I'll see you guys there. So, I really don't have a reason to make any changes here. We obviously just won the championship. We kept DeJounte Murray here. We technically got DeJounte Murray, and he was part of the championship roster. We kept Fred. We kept OG. We kept Siakam. We drafted Evan Mobley. We kept him. He's kind of like our center for the future. Kept the exact same points. That's kind of weird, honestly. But anyway, and then the thing about it is we kept Malachi Flynn too. We kept Chris Boucher, and then I think we traded for Zeller last year, and he was part of the roster as well. So we pretty much brought back the exact same team. The only thing is I'm wondering if we should start Devontae Graham. The only reason I say that is he put up he averaged 17 points per game last year, which was more than Fred VanVleet. But on top of that, in the playoffs or in the finals, he averaged ridiculous numbers. I can't even remember at this point, but he got finals MVP. I'm pretty sure it's not popping up here. Maybe I could have sworn that he got Finals MVP. Let's check the league history. So, no, not team records. NBA history. So, past champion. Yeah, he was the Finals MVP. So, he won Finals MVP last year. And yeah, he won Finals MVP, and he put up 26 points per game, or something crazy for a guy coming off the bench. I don't even remember. Maybe he was 30. I don't remember. I took a little break from recording from last season to this season, so I really don't remember. But I know that it was an insane amount of points. So I think I'm going to start him. We're going to sim through the first 3 weeks, and we're going to see just how it kind of turns out. If we're struggling a little bit, I'll start. Oh my gosh. Start out 4-4, but that was the same thing that happened last year. So let me sim 2 more weeks, and we'll go from there. It looks like we're turning things around. We should beat the Bulls. So it looks like we're doing all right. Let me check out the stats real quick. If he's putting up ridiculous numbers, then I'm just going to keep him right where he's at. So, yeah, Devontae Graham is still at 18 points per game. And Malachi Flynn is at 18 points per game. Does he need to start? His per 36 is probably ridiculous. Per 36, he's averaging 30. Oh, my Lord. Do we dare give it a shot? Do we give it a shot? Do we start Malachi Flynn? Oh, and now Fred VanVleet wants to average, 18. He still did that again last year, so. But Devontae Graham averaging almost 21 points per game. Do I start Malachi Flynn over DeJounte Murray? I feel like it's a stupid move. But, Malachi Flynn's hooping. He's playing really, really well. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to sit here with you guys for another 2 weeks and see just how much, see how the lineup changes work out. And it looks like we are just absolutely, we just lost one game in that stretch of 2 weeks. So let's check out the stats one more time, and let's see, let's see kind of where we're at. So he's up to 7. Oh, that's just per 36. Whew, I was going to say, holy. But, DeJounte Murray's averages pretty much stayed the same. Malachi's went up a little bit, so maybe we just run with this lineup for a little bit. I think I'll go with this until the trade deadline. If we start to look down, I will stop it and I'll make the change, put DeJounte Murray back at point guard, stuff like that. But this will get our players very, very much so developed. So I will just see you guys at the end of the year. So somehow, even with Malachi Flynn as an 81 starting and Devontae Graham starting as an 81, as our point guard and shooting guard, we actually have had the best record yet. So Luka Doncic wins MVP. William Wheeler wins Rookie of the Year. Jalen Suggs is Sixth Man of the Year in Cleveland. I don't know who he would be backing up, but that's interesting. Jonathan Isaac, Defensive Player of the Year. Kelly Page wins Most Improved. And then here's our boy Nick Nurse, 65-17. Jared Lucas wins Executive of the Year, and I'm pretty sure that was better than what we had before. So we'll check and see if we have anybody on any teams. I doubt it, but we can always look. It's never going to hurt. So yeah, nothing at all. And because of the fact that DeJounte Murray was not starting for us, he didn't even make a defensive team. So Devontae Graham's points actually dipped, and so did Malachi Flynn's. Maybe we need to rerun the rotation one more time. DeJounte Murray's also dipped, but not by much, or at least I don't think so. They definitely did. So it's kind of interesting to me. So I guess we'll run with this lineup one more time. Fred actually had a better year than he did last year, so maybe he was meant to come off the bench. I don't know. Devontae Graham, like I said, he got a little bit worse. He was averaging close to 20, at the beginning. And Malachi Flynn, he averaged 20 or 18, something like that. So these guys are pretty much just rebounders. So they're all getting a little bit better. We love to see it. The only thing is I'm going to change the system proficiency, make sure that it's 4 stars on balance. So we're going up against the Charlotte Hornets round 1. We have LaMelo Ball, Malik Monk. They picked up Chris Middleton and Darius Baisley, which is honestly not a terrible thing. And Bobby Portis, Jakob Poeltl, Troy Brown Jr. So, they're Duncan Robinson. They're decent. I do think that we're a little bit better. We do end up winning in 5 there. And we're taking on the Detroit Pistons, who have Cade Cunningham. Oh, my Lord. They did end up running Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham together. They picked up Kawhi Leonard in the offseason. They have Sadiq Bey. They have their young core. They literally have their young core of Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, Sadiq Bey, and Isaiah Stewart, which is why I think the Pistons are one of the, the bright spots when it comes to the young teams. They just have such a good young core, honestly. They signed Mitchell Robinson, I think, right? Yeah, this would be a sign. They signed Mitchell Robinson on a 4-year deal. They signed Josh Richardson to a 2-year deal. They had signed Lonnie Walker on a minimum. Maxi Kleber, we might actually lose this one. We genuinely might. Okay, we're not. We're going up. What is this? What was this playoffs? Somehow the 7 seed upset the 2 seed and the 6 seed upset the 3 seed. That is so strange to me. The 4 seed upset the 5, and what? But over here in the other conference over here in the Western Conference, they just literally had 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the Rockets actually upset Minnesota here, but, that's just crazy. That's crazy. So we're going up against the Magic, who still have Cole Anthony and RJ Hampton. They got Jonathan Kuminga, obviously, from the draft. They stole Jeremy Grant on a minimum. That's really nice. That's actually really nice. They got Jeremy Grant on a minimum, and he's actually a starter for minimum value from the Pistons. They got back Vucevic. How did they get back Vucevic? A trade. So they traded back Vucevic. That's so strange. They have Jonathan Isaac off the bench. Interesting call. They have Buddy Hield. They have Sekou. They have Chuma Okeke. Zach Collins. Zach Collins has been everywhere in this. I guess not. He's just been to Philly and Orlando. But still, that's, quite a decent amount. So we just blew a 3-0 lead. We just blew a 3-0 lead. Game 1, we won by 3. Game 2, we won by 13. Game 3, we won and we lost. Oh my gosh, we lost 4 straight. Can the Magic at least win? No, they cannot. So Jalen Green is the Finals MVP. The Rockets end up winning it all. So shout out to him. But we definitely should have had a back-to-back run there. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's all good. We got a championship here in Toronto, so that's all we could really ask for. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. On top of that, Once again, thank you guys so much for all the love you guys have shown on the channel. It truly means a lot to me. Let me know what else you guys want to see. But for now, this is King Sanders signing out. Peace.